This episode of the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast is brought to you by Groundhog Day is an event, not a business strategy. Are you ready to finally solve those pesky issues that keep holding back your business success and never seem to go away? Embrace the power of the S.P.R.I.N.G formula that unearths the issues and opportunities burrowed beneath the surface, and grow your business so you thrive from your intersection of your brilliance and your passion. Claim your copy today at www.thegroundhogbook.com. Welcome to the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast. Join us as we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who reveal what they are doing to make the world a better place by being part of it. Be sure to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now sit back, lean in, tune in, get your notepad and 2 pens ready, and let's get started.
My name is Adam Homey. I am honored by your wise decision as the host of the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast to tune in and invest in yourself today. Right now, we are speaking with Joyce Wheeler, who is a holistic health speaker. Joyce started studying herbs, essential oils, crystals, and supplements for her and her husband's health. She delved deep into research, which continues to this day, with her personal motto being, never stop learning. This research started in 2011 after her husband was misdiagnosed and told he would never get better. In 2015, she started a magazine, podcast, and writing to aid others who wanted to change their lifestyle to a more natural one. The following year, in 2016, Joyce started speaking on the topic to aid more individuals seeking better health holistically. And now she's with us today. So, Joyce Wheeler, welcome aboard.
Thank you, Adam. It's an honor to be here.
Certainly. So the first question is, how does the work you do make the world a better place for your clients, customers, and the community at large?
Well, the fact is that our world is very toxic, and a lot of people don't realize where these toxics are hiding in their home. So by putting this forward and showing them where they're at and showing them how they can help their body to rid the toxins that are in them, I feel like I know that I am creating a healthier society.
Great. So that's awesome. What do you do, just so that we understand?
I teach individuals how to maximize their health for about better quality of life through holistically with my products, my coaching, and my speaking.
Great. Now, in your experience, what are 3 of the most common questions that people in general have for you when asking about what you do, like the frequently asked questions?
Oh, well, they asked me how I got started doing what I'm doing. They asked me if I make all the products that I have, and they asked me if I'm a doctor.
What are 3 questions you wish they would ask?
What products I would recommend for whatever it is they're dealing with, and if I could teach them to have a better lifestyle. And also, what are the first steps towards a holistic lifestyle?
I see. Awesome. Yeah. And my supervisor, Princess Alessandra Francesca, has been sort of hovering around here. She knocked my camera halfway to the side, but I caught it really quickly. She's run off somewhere, but she will be back before the end of this episode. Mark my words. She'll probably creep in over here. This is one of the joys of the Brilliance Plus Passion projects. I can do it from pretty much anywhere, and a lot of times I do it from my living room. So let's shift gears, and let's ask a few things that help our listeners get to know Joyce better. First of all, what would people who know you be surprised to learn about you?
This was a hard one. I actually had to consult my husband about this. I avoid interstates.
That's interesting. I could think of 100 reasons why, but do you have yours?
Because the drivers on there are crazy. I don't trust them. I mean, they're just like freaking all over the place, and it's like, no. When you're going that speed, you don't need to be sporadic and, go like this. And I don't know about where you live, but here in Louisiana, people will take like whatever space they can find, even if it's not a car length space, and squeeze into it. I'm just like, I'm too mellow of a person. I'm kick back and relax, and that's just too stressful for me. I don't need it, so I just avoid interstates.
Well, what we have here, and I live in Las Vegas, and we run into sometimes is I'll be coming up on an exit I'm getting ready to take, and some car from 4 lanes over, I'll try and mirror it. Some car from 4 lanes over, I'll be driving along, getting ready to make the turn from all the way over here. Other than that, that's most of the craziness we have. But I do remember
exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do remember living in Pennsylvania, and that's a very temperate climate with snow that sometimes happens at weird and random times, and wide variances in the quality of weather control on the part of the various agencies that are responsible for maintaining the roads. My fear wasn't me being able to drive. I knew how to do it.
Right.
It was a combination of fear and annoyance were the other people.
Yep, mine too.
Yeah, I seem to recall that when I did drive in snow, that I didn't even really need my rear view mirror, because I knew that when I looked in there, I was going to see somebody else's bumper about this close. I'm thinking, come on, you're supposed to be twice as many car lengths from the next person when there's a possibility of ice. I remember that from driving school.
Right? I totally hear you. And I'm originally from Chicago. So in Chicago, I remember we would go to vacation like into Wisconsin and the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And when I went back from Chicago, before seatbelt laws were in place, I was putting on my seatbelt because I'm like, it was like a roller coaster. I just like, okay, I'm going to have to hold on now because who knows what's going to happen or what these people do.
Here's how I bring this all together. I don't think you're likely to find the perfect place to live or to be. However, if you can find something that has more of what you like and more of what works for you, and less of what you don't like and what doesn't work for you, you're headed in the right direction.
Right.
I wasn't built for the cold. People can look in Las Vegas and wonder how we deal with the excessive heat warnings, it being 130 degrees dry heat in the middle of the summer. And I say, well, at least it ain't snow.
Well, for us down here in Louisiana, it's the humidity. We get very high humidity, and it gets pretty miserable. Yeah. And I actually, at times, I miss the snow. It's like I miss going out, in Chicago with fresh fallen snow, and the streetlights would hit it. It would look like diamonds glistening, and I'd go out there and shovel, and it would kind of muffle the traffic. So it was very peaceful and very calming.
If I want to see snow, I'll watch a Christmas movie. That's just me. Yeah. But anyway, let's reel this back in. What do you hope people say about you when you're not around to hear it?
That I know a lot about holistic living. That I'm just very knowledgeable. And that I'm amazing. I'm amazing at what I do. I'm a rock star.
Oh, fantastic. If you could go back in time and change one thing you've done or one thing that's happened, what would that be and why?
Actually, Adam, I thought about this, and there's nothing I would change, because everything that I've been through and everything I've experienced, it's made me the person that I am today. And I wouldn't be who I am today without those challenges and experiences and, bad things that just had to happen.
Yeah. I look back at it, and on the one hand, I think that, I wouldn't be the same person. But I also know that there are certain places where I would apply hindsight. And I can think of 3 specific cases where I would have said yes to that money that I didn't believe was actually being handed to me, and therefore resisted.
Yeah, I think if I had to choose one thing, the only thing that I wish I would have done is start my business earlier than what I did. That's the only thing. But even in thinking about that, I was like, but then I still wouldn't have the knowledge that I have now.
Right.
So hindsight's 20 for me.
What famous person, alive or dead, would you like to meet? And what questions would you have for them if you had the opportunity?
Okay, this was another tough one for me, because I'm not into famous people. and like the famous people I would want to meet and ask questions to, the questions I have for them aren't very nice. And I
Okay.
want to be a very positive person and avoid negativity. So I went with any member of Pink Floyd. And the question I would want to ask is, where did the idea of the album for The Wall come from?
Oh yeah.
And which one is Pink?
Which one is Mr. Pink? I know that they answer that in Reservoir Dogs, but with Pink Floyd, they don't quite cover that.
Well, one of the reasons that came to my mind is because my husband found this video that they did in Germany of The Wall, and it was very interesting. And they had various entertainers, people in the music industry, like Cyndi Lauper, Sinead O'Connor. Trying to think of who else, but people like that were doing the Pink Floyd songs, and it was a performance. It was a whole production, and it was just really interesting. And it just got me thinking. The Wall. It's telling a story.
Yeah.
It's obviously about World War II, but it's like, how did this come to be? Where does this idea come from? And then all these songs and the songs, it's a mental thing that they're building this wall inside their head to keep all this garbage out. And it took me a while to even get that. I had to watch it stoned one time and be like, oh, I get this. I get where they're where they're coming from. So
that seems to be almost a trend with you. Yeah, or a theme rather. They're building this wall to keep garbage out, and we can think of building the wall in our mind to keep negative thoughts, negative things away. And you deal with holistic health, which is another way of taking out what's bad and replacing it with something good.
Oh, that's true. Nick didn't think about it like that. You're totally right, Adam.
Yeah. So what motivates you and keeps you inspired when you're having a tough time or facing a challenge?
My passion is helping people. I love to help people. And, there's times when things just aren't going the way I want them to. And I'll step back. I'll just, take a step back, go watch some TV, meditate. But it's just, I know I have a message to share with the world to make this world a better place, to help people in our society be healthier than what they are right now. And I'm not going to let anything stop me. I'm not going to let anything break me down. It's just, I'm going to keep going forward.
That's very admirable. And finally, and I know you have something that you want to share with the audience, which I will take care of for you. But in general, right now, what is one action you would like our listeners to take as soon as they finish listening to us today?
Do not put cell phones in your pockets or in your bras. Please, please, please. It is very harmful for your health. You have no idea how harmful it is. And that's like one of my pet peeves is seeing people walk around with a cell phone in their pocket. It's just, it's a negative energy. And I have read stories of people, a woman who was carrying her cell phone in her bra. She developed cancer, and it was in the form of a cell phone. It's not a healthy practice. And I've
seen people almost die of selfies. They have websites that track injuries and fatalities as a result of selfies. And I have more than once had situations where I was driving through the parking lot at the 5 miles an hour you're actually supposed to, and still managed to almost hit somebody because you're doing this and just drifting out, like no concern for anybody around them. Just they're showing off their okay. And that's a great way to get damaged because you lose not only your sense of what's going on around you, but it actually is harmful to your health, which is why I don't text, which is why whenever I'm at home, my cell phone's usually sitting on a charger somewhere. And even people who see me out at the places I hang out with, I'm as much as, if not more likely, to bring one of my laptops with me if I want to be online, rather than use that little device. Now I have a laptop on a shelf and everything.
Yeah, definitely. Me too. I've got a friend that she uses her cell phone for everything, and I'm just like, I don't understand how you could do that. It's like a laptop is your so much more convenient and so much easier for me to use. And, you know, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of apps. I mean, I'm sure you've heard of the Clubhouse that's going on. You know, it's like a big thing with speakers and stuff. Well, first off, I'm not on there because I have an Android. Secondly, I'm not on there.
Well, you can be on there now. You can be on there now with an Android. They finally got their act together on that.
Yeah, I'm like kind of on the fence. I'm like, you know, I've been speaking for a while, but I just really want to get it going right now. And I was just on a summit with a bunch of speakers, and they all went each other through this Clubhouse. I'm going, oh, gee, do you know, is that something I really want to do or not?
I think this is another great discovery about you is that you're not the type to necessarily follow trends. And I think another part of your brilliance and your passion is to be able to speak about things that may have something of a contrarian bent to them, with the idea that the gift is it helps people look around themselves and ask why, or if need be, why not?
Yeah, for me, I'm definitely asking why. When I heard that this Clubhouse came out, I was just like, why? Really? Why? And why on the phone when it's so, I mean, it actually says, if you ever took the time to read the pamphlet that comes with the phone, it tells you not to have that within so much feet or inches of your body. And actually hold it in our hand is bad for us.
It's interesting. It is very interesting. And I think that just being willing to take the opportunity to look at all the facts and make decisions about what's best for you. And that's part of why I wanted to speak with you here today. So I'm so glad to have you here. And what I want to do is for our listeners, I want to encourage everybody who's interested in discovering more about holistic health and how Joyce can help you, go to this website, which is www.hborganicskincare.com. That's hborganicskincare.com. We just heard about how not to put cell phones too close to your skin. Now we're going to be looking at various products for those seeking a more holistic lifestyle. We spoke about Pink Floyd in the wall, what we keep out and what we let in. So while this interview may, for our listeners, seem to have taken on several different threads that were going in a couple interesting different directions, for those of you who stayed to the end, you may begin to see for yourself how this all comes together, and being willing to explore interesting and sometimes on the surface wild areas of thought can come together and give you great inspirations. If there's one thing you take away from today's episode, it should be that. And with that, Joyce Wheeler, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been an honor, and believe me, in education.
Thank you for having me, Adam.
Thank you for tuning into the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast, where we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who are making a difference for their community, market, and audience. Remember to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast.